Hi everyone, it's Tammy, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this really cute graduation cap box that you can use to put a gift card in or whatever you really want, a little small gift. It's not very big, but it is very cute, and I think it will look great on the graduation table. And you can of course make this tassel whatever size you want, and this one's probably a little smaller than I would suggest making just because I used all of the red and white that I had. So in the one I'm going to make with you guys, I'm going to use this, so we'll have a little bit more to maybe make our tassel a little more full. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need whatever color construction paper you want for the hat. You know, maybe use your school colors, and not construction paper, cardstock. And then also baker's twine. And then you're going to need a little piece of just scrap paper. I'm using this to wrap the twine around, and this is going to be however long you want the tassel. So the tassel is going to be, you know, approximately however long this is. 1, 2, 3, 4 inches, and it's probably a couple inches wide. Yes, so that's just to wrap the tassel. I'll show you that in a minute. And then you also need a brad or a button or something that you can put on the top to kind of hold and hide where the tassel goes in. So what you're going to do is you need 3 pieces of cardstock, and the reason you need 3 is because you have to do 3 different squares. So the biggest square is 5.5 by 5.5 squares. So I'm cutting this at 5.5 this way. And actually you might even be able to do two because that's a half a sheet. You might be able to just use 2 pieces of cardstock. 5.5 by 5.5. And there is 1. And then you're going to want your second one to be cut at 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. So 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. And then your last one is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So like I said, 3 squares. And this one is going to be the top of the hat, the mortarboard part of the hat. So then you have this as extra, and yeah, you just need 2 pieces. I don't know what I was thinking. So that's going to be the top, so I'm going to put that to the side. And then you want to take the smaller of the 2, and you want to score 3/4 inch on each side. So let me do it up here. Three-quarters inch. Three-quarters inch. Three-quarters inch. And 3/4 inch. And then in the biggest one, this one is going to be scored an inch at each side. Then once you have those done, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to make a V on either side of the score lines for a tab. And then you also want to cut the tab so that it is kind of got an angle on both ends. That just helps it when you're trying to put the box together, because you're making these into little boxes. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. And then I'm going to do that to this tab, but once you have your tabs, you don't cut this end, otherwise you'll lose the tab. So just on opposite ends of one of the sides, I guess, if that makes sense. I guess two sides, opposite ends of the box. You want to make your tabs by cutting a small slit V on either side of the score line. And also a little bit off of the side to make your box. So there's that one. And you're going to do the same thing to both of the squares that you cut. That one's a little bit thick, but it's okay. It won't matter. If you get it a little thick, don't start over or anything. You'll make that work. And then I want to use strong adhesive, and I'm going to put strong adhesive on the flaps, on the tabs, or whatever we're calling those. And on this one, I think I can just fit a piece. But I think maybe on the other one, I can maybe fit 2 pieces. And let's go ahead and, I guess before I do that, let's go ahead and fold this so it will know that it needs to be folded. That always just helps when you're making something, to fold along the score lines. Okay, so then you can just peel off the little papers. Oh goodness. And you want the papers to go on the inside. Dang bat. So just refold. It's not a big deal. But you want, you know, the paper to show on the inside, or to be on the inside of the box. So there we go. And usually I like to take all the papers off first. It's just a little easier. And then just create your box by folding your tabs in, and there you go. And that's going to be the lid. The smaller piece is the lid. Okay, and then once you have that, do the same thing with the lid, or with the base. And then the lid fits right on top. Just like that. Now this is going to go on top of that, and so to do that you need a small hole, so you do need a hole poker, and you want it to be right in the center. Now if you need to measure to get it precise, then you just go right ahead. I am more of an eyeballer, so I just like to eyeball things, and I think that that looks about like the center to me, and I'm just going to make this like that. And then I'm going to build the tassel, or make the tassel. I guess you don't build it. I just start with the tassel at one end of the long way of the paper, and then I'm just going to wrap this around, I don't know how many times, 10 maybe. Or until it's in such a knot that I can't get it out anymore. I haven't even counted, but you know, you want your tassel to be fairly full, I guess. I think that the red one, I think I could only do 7. I don't know, so I'd probably say more than 10. I don't know, I'd guess 15 or something. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but I'm just going to wrap it around. That's probably fine. And then I'm going to come back around so it's at the bottom, and then I'm just going to trim that off. Oh, whoops, I don't want to take it off of this yet. Sorry. Leave it on there. And then take another piece of your yarn, if you can get it. Goodness gracious. Here it is. Okay. All right, and you want this to be, I don't know, fairly long, because you're going to want it to be able to be cut off. So you want it to be, you need 2 pieces about like that. And then that's it with that. Thank goodness, huh? And then you take this and you tie a knot at the top. And I'm going to do it, you know, a 2-knotted thing, a double knot, I guess. And then this is going to be what holds your tassel onto your mortar. So then you want to take your other piece and tie a double knot kind of close to the top of this. This creates that little look that, you know, tassels have. So you want this to be kind of tight, because you don't want it to slip and slide. And then, whoops, those 2 will hang down, so they've just become part of the tassel. And then this part you need to tie a knot in, and you want it to be long enough so that it can go to the center and still hang down. So I don't want my knot to be any shorter than this. So I am just going to tie my knot. And as I'm making the knot, so as I was saying, I just want it to be long enough so that it falls past the mortar part of the hat. And then I'm just going to pull it tight. And I'm going to trim these off. And then I'm going to take my little pokey tool and I'm going to stick this through the hole. So I want the knot to pop through. So you want the knot to be as tight as you can get it, so it won't be very big, but then you don't want this to be too big that the brad will pull through. So you just have to be careful and just kind of push it through. And it will pop in there. then if you get it on the other side, sometimes it's easier to pull it through that way. Oh goodness, I don't have enough in there yet. So this is the hardest part of the card, or of the gift holder. Oh, there we go. I may have ripped it a little bit. And you know what? I did rip it a little bit. But that's okay, because I'm going to attach this to that. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take this and reinforce my little hole with this. There we go. And then I just want to make sure that it will fall over to the side like that. And then I want to take the end of my tassel, and I'm just going to cut all of this part off, just the very end, so that they'll all be hanging down like a tassel. So I cut all of that little edge off, and then now it's all one length, and it's just a really cute little tassel. So then finally what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid, and I'm going to put the strong adhesive on the lid. Then you can remove the paper. And attach the top to the hat. It's probably easier to do it this way so that you can make sure that it's about centered. And then just push down. You'll have a little knot in the middle where the knot is, or a little bump in the middle where the knot is. It's no big deal. There we go. And so there's your little graduation cap. Isn't that cute? And it's super easy, and it's, I think, adorable, and it holds, you know, a small little present or a gift card, and it's perfect for the graduate. And you know, this will swing on whichever side. It doesn't matter. So thanks so much, and have a great day, and happy graduation to any of the people in your lives that are graduating. Bye-bye. And some of you guys are probably yelling at me that I forgot my brad, and I sure did. I just absolutely, totally forgot to put this on there. So what I'm going to do, and you would do this before you would put this on the box, but because I messed it up, I'm going to put it on now. And it's really not a huge big deal, but put my brad in there. It just kind of gives it a finishing touch. And then I'm just going to close it on this side of the mortar board. Usually this would be hidden because you will have put it on before you put the mortar board on, but there we go. Now it's complete. Thanks. Bye.